Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our webinar today, Google's Guide to Modern Search. We're super excited to have you guys on the call today. While we wait for more participants to join, I just wanted to go ahead and get the chat started. And why don't you guys tell us where you're joining us from today? All right. All right, everybody. So let's just get started. I'm your host, Connie Gundrum, Chief Marketing Officer for CF Search Marketing. And I'm really excited to announce Angie Cucco, Senior Automotive Strategist for Google. And we have Eryka Long joining us again, Marketing Manager for CF Search Marketing. Eryka's going to be manning that chat today. So we are encouraging you guys to engage with us. The more you engage in the chat, you're going to be entered to win. So for every chat engagement, Eryka's going to be entering you for a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. But you do have to stay to the end to claim your prize. And we will announce that winner at the end of the webinar. We'd love for you guys to stay connected with us or get connected with us. On the left, you see a QR code. You can scan that to sign up for updates from CF Search, where we'll be sending emails on the latest and greatest case studies, webinars, and then follow us on social media. So if you're new to us today, for those of you who aren't familiar with CF Search Marketing, who are we? We are a conversion-focused, full-service ad agency. We're established in 2008, so we're celebrating our 15 years this year. And we're automotive experts with over 40 brands nationwide and a founding member in ASC, the Automotive Standards Council. And we have our strategic partners. We're a Google partner, as you can see today, Stellantis, Volkswagen, and our newest partnership with Maserati was just announced last week, and we're very excited about that. So I'm going to kick it off to Angie, and she's going to take us through the presentation.
Thanks, Connie. All right, let me share my screen. Oh, I need, there we go. Okay. All right, let me just make this larger.
All right, real quick, guys. You guys just did message saying chat was disabled. It should be opened up now. Sorry about that.
Can you guys just let me know? Can anybody see my screen right now?
No.
No.
I am also seeing just a black screen. Okay. One moment, please.
Technology.
I know. Just a moment ago, I did see it, so I don't know what's happening in this tab.
That's okay. I got you too. If we need to, I can share them for you.
Okay. No, this one has gone black. All right, one moment, please.
Eryka also put all the links for social media in the chat. So if you want to follow us, all those links are there for you guys.
All right, now we're loading. Can everybody see that?
Yes, we can. We're good.
All right. All right. Wonderful. Thank you for bearing with me there. So, hi, everyone. And again, thanks so much to CF for inviting me today. I'm really excited to talk to you all about Google's modern search because I've been at Google a long time now, nearly 17 years. And in the past year or so, it's really the first time that we've really made a lot of changes to our products for the better, I think. So I'm going to take you through that today, talk a little bit about AI or artificial intelligence, which I think is a really fun topic. And we'll talk about how we're applying that to search so that you can advertise better with Google. So just to give you a little background, every year, Google holds an event for developers in our Mountain View amphitheater that we call Google I/O. So the I/O actually stands for input output, but has also come to be known as innovation in the open, because at Google I/O, we showcase some of our most innovative products. It's a place where we've launched things like Android, Chrome, Google Earth, and Google Assistant. So at I/O in 2017, our CEO, Sundar Pichai, announced that we were moving into a major technology change, an AI-first world. So with the breakthroughs we were able to make in machine learning and artificial intelligence, it was time to think AI first. And so already 6 years ago, we started to retool all of our products to integrate that AI and really make them that much more useful to our users. So at Google, we think of AI as the next big shift. And actually, it's the third one, to be honest. So first, there was the internet. And just let that sink in for a minute. We all take this amazing technology that keeps us all connected and informed for granted today. But many of us here on this webinar today will remember a time when, if we wanted to research something, anything, we had to go to a library, see what maybe 4 or 5 books they might have had on the subject, used microfiche to look at old articles, or grabbed a Yellow Pages to figure out hours of your local business. So the next big shift was mobile, another amazing technology that was amazing enough when it was just a phone you could use anywhere and wouldn't need to find a payphone. But now mobile phones are a powerful computer in its own right. And now there's AI. So simply put, AI is the most profound technology we are working on today. Thanks to the internet, we now have an incredible amount of data that we can feed computers to analyze for us. And those computers can now be programmed to make predictions and even generate new ideas for us. It's a technology with endless possibilities. So we all think about how these technology shifts have affected us as people, but take a moment to consider the way they've affected your dealership, your business. If you'd been slow to adopt the internet or mobile technology, where would you be now? How much does your business depend on a reliable internet connection or mobile device usage among your staff or your customers? One day, AI is going to seem as commonplace and obvious to us as the internet and mobile phones do now. In fact, AI is already more commonplace than you think. So if this works for us, I'm going to have you take a look.
Every day, AI helps people with their personal lives, jobs, transportation, education, health, and more, maybe even without them realizing it. Here are some examples of AI in action on a typical day. In the morning, a teenager wakes up and uses facial recognition to unlock her phone. She scrolls through social media feeds to see what's new. Then she asks the voice assistant on her phone what the weather is going to be like that day so she knows how to dress for school. A college student uses an app on his phone to deposit a birthday check from his grandmother. He takes a photo of the check, and the app automatically reads the handwriting to figure out the amount. It then deposits it into his account. Meanwhile, a younger student uses a different app that is teaching her a new language. The app listens to what she says and can recognize what she's saying even if she makes mistakes. The app then gives her personalized feedback on her pronunciation. At the same time, a person gets in their car to go to work, and the navigation system plans the fastest route based on current traffic. In the car, they listen to a music streaming service, which already knows what types of songs they like based on what they listened to before. Every day, AI helps people with their personal lives, jobs.
So I'm going to stop it there because I'd like to go on, but just kind of an idea of how much we're already using AI every single day. So the question is, how are we applying this at Google? So let's see here if I can get back into my presentation, because now I seem to not be able to go ahead. All right, there we go. Okay, so how are we using this at Google? At its heart, AI is really meant to be assistive in nature. It's technology that we mean to simplify and speed up processes to make all of our lives easier. So something that AI can do incredibly well is recognize patterns and make connections in large amounts of data that would be impossible for humans to identify. And it does this in the blink of an eye, analyzing data and producing predictions in real time. So an example of this is when you see real-time traffic when using Google Maps, right? So it's taking all sorts of algorithms, identifying data from cars everywhere, and making this useful for you. So we're going to take a second just for fun to try this out. So you're going to see a QR code here. And if you take your phone and scan your screen, this QR code is going to take you to a website that allows you to sort of practice with some AI. You're going to see some games there, and you're going to see if you can beat the machines. So you'll have a couple of games that show you some patterns, and you try to predict the next pattern. And we're going to see how fast you can do it versus how quickly a machine can do it. So I've played this a few times. I've never beaten the machines, but let me know if for some reason any of you can beat those machines. And this is a fun little game, but it gives you an idea of what we're talking about when we use AI. We're harnessing the power of computers, which can go very, very quickly to sift through large amounts of data for us. So I wonder if anyone beat the computer. I don't know if that's showing up in the chat. Has anyone been able to beat the computer? Oh, I can't hear you, Connie.
Nope. I definitely haven't. I tried.
No, we have
got
a
another
no.
no.
Yeah, Luke
LOL.
says no.
Okay. Well, you can keep trying. In the meantime, we'll go on. So that's one sort of AI, and we call that one predictive AI. But there's another fun form of artificial intelligence that's getting a lot of press right now, and that's generative AI. Now, this is where it gets really magical, because this is where AI is given a prompt and makes something new based on it. So you may have heard a lot about ChatGPT in the news. Google has also recently rolled out our own generative AI tool called Bard. Bard is an experiment that's powered by Google's generative AI. It's meant to be a helpful collaborator for your day-to-day. So you can ask Bard for help on pretty much anything. You could say, hey, give me some high-protein vegan recipe ideas, or it can give you a jump start on that novel you've been meaning to write. You could even ask it to draft a packing list for this weekend's camping trip, or suggest the best ways to be introduced to fly fishing. Now, you can try it yourself at bard.google.com, and I highly recommend trying it out. It's a lot of fun, but I'll also show you, again, a very short video on this. Or I think I will. Okay, so there is so much that we can do with AI. It's really, the possibilities are endless. But what we really care about in this room today is how we can use it to help us advertise. So I'm going to show you ways that we are applying AI to advertising. And that is if I can get out of this video. So let's see if we can do that.
While you're doing that, we got a question from Tyler. Does Bard have a deeper meaning?
Does it have a deeper meaning? Well, I think that we're thinking of Bard like, you know, a bard like Shakespeare, like a playwright. So basically, Bard is creating ideas and helping you generate your ideas in a new way. So we think it's just sort of a fun play on that. You're being your own Shakespeare.
We also have in the chat, Courtney says that she beat the machine. Go, Courtney.
Oh, Courtney, you beat the machine. I love this. I love this. I'm going to reshare here so we can move ahead the right way too, because my tab seems to be stuck. Fun fact, Google doesn't always play nicely with things like Zoom. So,
Which Angie warned us about.
you know, the fun thing is when you get to see a peek behind the curtain that even at Google, technology does not always go right. So, okay. All right, let me get this new tab up. It's taking a minute. Okay. All right. Here we go. Break time is over. All right, let's get back into how AI is changing Google search. And let me just get us into a slideshow so you can see it larger. Okay. And we'll let that load for a second. Okay. All right. So what does all this have to do with Google search? Well, like so many other ways we're adding AI into products to make them more assistive, we're doing the same thing with search. So, for instance, how we've managed our advertising campaigns up until now has been relatively manual. Have we been able to improve efficiencies over the past 5 to 6 years? Yes, but our search advertising is still very much keyword based, focused on front end metrics like clicks, impressions, CPCs, some of those buzzwords that you know about if you've been advertising with Google. But this has us more or less guessing how many calls, forms, traffic, and visits we're going to get from our ads. But AI is helping us evolve. So we're creating a new experience for both Google users and advertisers that's much more assistive and even predictive in nature. So one thing we know at Google is that with constantly changing technology, we have to stay nimble if we want to stay relevant. So here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that 15% of the searches we see on Google every day are brand new? We've never seen them before. That is a lot, 15% every single day. To keep up with that rate of change, we needed to keep our experience as agile as the consumer. So we had to change. So we're using AI to improve the search experience and the way we match results to user searches. So using machine learning technology, we can understand our end users so much better. We now know what people are really looking for, what's important to them, and then we can match our organic and paid results better to the right people, because we know now if somebody has just had a baby, is looking for a new job, or is in market for a new car. So we're moving from a focus on keyword first advertising to outcome first advertising, because you don't really care if someone is searching for Ram 1500. You just care if they are ready to buy a Ram 1500. So now you can tell Google what you really want, and we'll do our best to give you that outcome. And as dealers, what is it that you really want? You just want to sell cars, right? That's why we're all here. So you may want some other things that let you know how likely it is that someone will buy a car. Things like phone calls, form submissions, chats, people who are looking to navigate to your store. And using Google's AI technology, you can now direct our products to optimize directly for these things. So rather than saying, I want a lower CPC or I want more clicks and impressions, you can say, Google, I need form submissions. I need phone calls. Get me as many of those as possible. So in the past, we have worked with static, limited signals. So for a while there, it's just been a keyword and maybe a maximum bid that you set. So you can think of this sort of like driverless car technology. This is sort of a level 1 autonomous where a person still has to do all the work. But with AI, we can incorporate all of our audience signals we know about the searcher, align that with any data you add in from your CRM, and then let Google do the heavy lifting to match the right shopper with your message. So this takes it to a level 5 autonomous where you let the machine do everything. So incorporating audience signals allows you to move away from those static signals like keywords and bids to directing us to your desired outcome, like leads and cost per leads.
Angie, really quickly,
Yeah.
you just said incorporating your CRM data. I think that's really key to point out for dealers because oftentimes it's something that doesn't get done. So can you speak to, why that's important that we use their CRM data?
Sure. When you add in your own CRM data, then we are getting very relevant about who you're speaking to, who you know is doing business with you. And Google can use that CRM data to find other audiences that are similar. And I will be talking about this ahead a little bit in the webinar, but definitely a good thing to keep in mind.
We actually did just get a question in the chat from Kelsey. They're actually asking, how will this shift impact cost per click?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Currently, it's not probably going to affect it too much. But as you start learning to look at back-end metrics rather than front-end metrics, we're not going to be looking at CPC anymore. You'll be looking directly at your cost per lead. So you'll be telling the system, Google, I want a $20 cost per lead for this action. That's just an example. And you'll start looking at whether we're delivering that for you. It's going to be really important to start measuring and understanding what your ROI is so that you understand what a good cost per lead is for you, depending on the action. Is a phone call worth more to you, for example, than a website chat? Is a VDP worth more than a form fill or vice versa? So eventually you'll stop looking at those front-end metrics like cost per clicks, because it's great if somebody clicks, but what we really want them to do is take the action on your site. So we'll start looking at the cost per leads, cost per conversions. Does that make sense?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. It's a different mindset, that's for sure. So one thing that AI is doing, and very much to the point we just were talking about with switching to cost per leads, this is also reducing our traditional dependence on keywords to find the right shopper. So since AI helps us know so much about who is out there on our platforms, we know by a combination of searchers' behaviors whether they're actually in market. Because now we know if somebody's on a Google platform and they've been signed in, we know what videos they've been watching, what websites they've been visiting, if they're downloading apps or looking for dealerships on Google Maps. So what keywords they're searching for just becomes one more signal to let us know if they're actually in market for a vehicle. So to sort of illustrate why this is important, let's look at 3 sample searchers. They've all typed Jeep Grand Cherokee into the search bar. But the first one is she's just looking for photos of the vehicle, okay? Our second searcher already has a Grand Cherokee and just wants to know how to pair his phone. The third searcher is actually in market and wants to talk to a dealer. If we were not applying AI technology, we would just bid on this keyword and our ad could show to any of these people. But the one we really want to target is number 3. And using AI, we now understand that she is the one who is in market for the vehicle, and we can show your message just to her, the in-market shopper. So let's talk about how you can take advantage of this new technology and make your ads work smarter for you. The easiest way to get started with AI technology is to just add in audiences to your current search efforts. There are 2 ways we can work with audiences to improve your results. So first, you can add in Google's preset audiences like demographics, life events, or in-market shoppers, or you can upload your own first-party data like remarketing lists or CRM data. Now, if you upload your CRM data with Google's customer match feature, it allows you to add your own customer information as a signal. And we can then use those signals to better target users that you already have as prior customers. So we can actually take your CRM list and we can say, all right, we're only going to show ads to the people in your list. For instance, you could upload a list of returning lessees, or you could upload a list of, let's say, parts and service customers and target only them with specific messages. You can also use those lists to exclude people. So you could say, all right, I don't want to talk to anybody who's already in my CRM. I want to find new customers. Google can also use that list to find other customers out there not in your CRM, but who show similar behaviors online. So there are probably other people who could be in market for one of your vehicles. You just don't have them in your CRM yet, but we can target your messages to them as well.
We actually have a question real quick, Angie, going back with the data on the last slide. Mark asked, can Google take the first party data and then use it to benefit their competitors that are advertising?
I'm sorry, wait, can you repeat that?
So his question was, can Google take the first party data and then use that to benefit their competitors that are advertising?
Nope. So once you've uploaded your CRM data into Google, it's all hashed and then it's deleted once we have the sort of IDs, because we don't want to be able to identify any people, but it's only used in your own account. It's not used outside of your own AdWords account. So it doesn't become part of Google's greater. We'll just use it, and then you can choose if you want us to expand off of your list to find other customers who might not be in your CRM.
Thanks for that. A privacy question. I'm sure, that's helpful to a lot of people out there.
That was a good question. Thanks for asking it.
Very good question.
We also have like a couple of things that we're starting to offer you as well that you can use with your CRM data. We have something called a new customer acquisition goal. So you can upload your current CRM data and then set custom bids and values for new shoppers that we find online who are not one of the ones in your database. So this is a way, again, of being able to say, all right, these are the people in my database, but I want new ones, and I want to bid separately for them. So you can start getting creative about the way that you're actually using that data. Now, you don't have to use your own audiences. Google's powerful technology allows you to find the most relevant shoppers out there so you can get your message in front of the right people. So for instance, for a Ram 1500 campaign, you could overlay audiences like these that you see here. So it could be new vehicles, Ram truck shoppers, or pickup truck shoppers. And because when you add audiences to your search campaigns, you're really getting more targeted, we see much better results. So we often see lifts of like 16% in click-through rate. So people tend to be clicking on your ads much more often, and 10% higher conversion rates. So how do we know if someone should be in one of those audiences? Well, as you likely know, one resource that we have in spades here at Google is information. We can learn a lot about what shoppers care about by looking at how they search and behave online. We can then create audiences of those shoppers that are highly targetable by you. So we do this by looking at a multitude of signals. Since we have 10 platforms out there totaling a billion users each month, we have 72 million data signals that we can take into account when we're setting up audiences. So here's one example. Let's say that we want to target an audience of truck shoppers. We would know if a shopper falls into this category by looking at what they do online. So for instance, they might search Ram trucks on Google. We also see that they've watched head-to-head truck videos on YouTube. Perhaps they visited Edmunds.com to read reviews. And we even see that they've searched for dealerships on Google Maps. So we have a pretty high level of certainty that this shopper is actually in market for a truck. Now we can also layer in your data then, like an email address from your CRM list, and that allows Google to personalize the targeting even more for you. Okay, so
Real
adding
quick,
an audience. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you have a question?
Yes, we do. We got a question that came in. Tyler asked, what is the best size audience list, or is there a minimum list size threshold?
There is. I think that the minimum threshold is 1,000 matched users. So that means like you would take your CRM list and upload it into Google, and we would have to match that to people who have a Google login. So somebody who has a Gmail or has, a YouTube account or whatever it is. So we have to have, I think, a minimum of 1,000 in order to protect privacy. Good question. Any other questions before I move on?
I think we're good.
Okay, great. All right, so you can add audiences, and that's one way to take advantage of Google's AI. But we also have several products now that were built to be entirely powered by AI. So I want to show you a couple of those. So the first one I want to show you is one of our earlier products, and it's called Discovery Ads. And Discovery Ads lets you reach shoppers who we identify as being in market for a vehicle while they're in three places. One, watching videos on YouTube. Two, looking at content on Google Discover, which is like if you have a phone and you're using Google, or if you have an Android, it's sort of a feed of news articles that are reflective of your interests. Or if they're reading Gmail. The cool thing about this is that these are new places to have conversations with people because this inventory was never available for advertising before. And the other thing is that this is entirely audience-based. It's our first product with no keywords at all. So these are very simple to set up ads that use Google's powerful AI algorithms to show your ads to the audience you choose. So you just provide us with the creatives, tell us your budget, and which audience you want to target. And then we go find them for you while maximizing your conversions. No keywords involved. So this is one of the first AI products where, like we said before, it's very important to understand what conversion you want. Do you want lead forms and phone calls? Do you want VDPs? Do you want chats? What is it that you are after? Because whatever you tell our system that you want, that's how we'll optimize.
And this is getting a name change, right? Next month to Demand Gen?
Well, I don't really have a clear timeline on it, but right now we already have Demand Gen ads that run. So there's another new product right now called Demand Gen, and it's like Discovery, but a little bit more fleshed out. And yes, as Connie just mentioned, Discovery ads will be merged with Demand Gen in the near future, but I wish I had a timeline on it, and I don't have an exact.
Okay, actually just got another question in about that. So they were just wanting a bit more clarification on Discovery. Kelsey's asking, so they display sort of like search ads, but with images and targeting instead of keywords in place that the user is in, sort of like native advertising.
These are native ads, correct. So we try to make the ads match the experience as much as possible wherever they're showing. And you can't pick and choose platforms with discovery ads because we don't really care where they're showing. We care if the person we're showing your ad to is likely to complete one of your conversions. So we use those audiences. We say, okay, this person is in market for a pickup, so we're going to show your ad to them on Gmail right now because that's where they are. Makes sense?
Yep, that was good.
Okay, cool. Let's go to Performance Max. So this is another of our brand new product, not brand new at this point, but our newest major product, which combines audiences with automation. Now, I wouldn't really call this a product per se. This is actually a new campaign type. So Performance Max is the name of a new campaign type that lets you sort of hand Google the reins to deliver whatever business outcome you're looking for. So with PMax, so I don't have to say Performance Max every time. With PMax, you basically give Google the puzzle pieces. So things like creative assets, audience preferences, and conversion goals. And we go find your shoppers for you no matter where they are on any Google property. So no longer do you have to separately target shoppers on search, video, or display, because in the end, it doesn't matter where they are. You just want to find them and engage them. So Performance Max allows you to do that. So using those 72 million signals we have, we will find that shopper in market for your vehicle and use machine learning to take those puzzle pieces you gave us and automatically create ads in nanoseconds optimized for whatever platform your shoppers are on. So if we know that someone likely to call you is on YouTube right now, we will take your assets, make a video ad really quickly, and get it in front of that shopper while they're on YouTube, or if they're on Google Maps, or if they're on a partner website on the display network. Now, this is actually a bit of an outdated slide because we are adding a couple things into Performance Max. One is vehicle ads, which I will talk about in a second, and giving you guys a totally sneak peek behind the curtain because this is like hardly even been announced yet. We will be having Waze ads in PMax in the near future. No timing on that.
Very cool.
Now, I just said that you don't necessarily need to have separate search, video, and display campaigns anymore, but you can. You can decide that I'm going to run a standalone search campaign, but maybe I'd like to experiment with PMax as well. One thing that PMax does really well is help you fill in the gaps. So if you are currently running a standalone search campaign, your PMax campaign will show ads when there's a gap. So perhaps we identify that there's a shopper in market for your vehicle, but they're not searching on one of the keywords in your search campaign. We can then show them your PMax ad because that's not based on keywords, but based on whether this person is going to buy a car from you. So it helps you find sort of incremental value. Now, because PMax campaigns are optimizing for outcomes that you want, we are seeing advertisers get 18% more conversions in these campaigns than in their standard campaigns. But you don't need to take our word for it. I have a case study here for you, and we have several case studies from advertisers who've been trying PMax campaigns. NorCal Toyota is one of them. Running PMax to sell new cars, they were able to achieve a 70% increase in conversions at a 94% lower cost per action than they were seeing in their standard search campaigns. Now, another new product we've rolled out for dealers and which you may already be familiar with is vehicle ads. So this product, which is actually not part of Google Search, but part of our Google Shopping platform, allows you to give us an inventory feed so that your available vehicles can show at the top of the Google Search results page when someone searches for a vehicle that matches. These ads are great because they really allow you to get that important vehicle information in front of a user before they ever click through. And so it gives you the ability to show photos, pricing, location information. And vehicle ads were recently rolled into the PMAX campaign type. Now, this helps us apply more signals to your feed and allows you to show that same inventory in more places across Google. So not just on Google search, but even in places like YouTube. So you can see the traditional vehicle ad iteration to the left, and then how it would look on other platforms to the right. And that actually completes my portion today, but I wanted to leave you with this. If you ever want to learn more about these or other ads, you can actually go to our Academy for Ads that you see here. There are free trainings and videos, and I encourage you to check it out. So there's the URL there, google.com/Academy for Ads.
Thank you, Angie. If you
I'm
don't
happy to
mind,
take
can you continue to drive the slideshow? There's just a couple. I think we'll roll into the Q&A. I know there were some more questions that we got in the chat. For
We
Andy.
definitely did. We
So,
got some directly in to us. One was, what are your thoughts on the direction phase and exact match are going with their close variants? For example, someone advertising with the keyword Toyota dealership as a phrase match in Florida, and in search terms, they're going to show up and maybe get one of the big automotive groups.
So we are actually now, that's a great question, by the way. Thank you. A really smart question. We are actually encouraging everybody to switch at this point to broad match keywords. And I'll tell you why. So in the past, broad match keywords were just that, right? And for those who don't understand match types, because it's very in the weeds, when you choose your keywords to run on Google, you can choose one of three match types: broad, phrase, or exact. Exact match is if you have the keyword Ram 1500 and you can then only match to Ram 1500 as somebody types it in. Phrase match allows you to have other words before or after Ram 1500, but it must have the Ram 1500 phrase. So it could be new Ram 1500. Broad match is like it sounds. We try to get you as much traffic as possible without having to think of every iteration of the keyword, misspellings, things like that. So you could potentially even match to competitor terms, right? Like it could be like Ford F-150. It's more rare, but it could happen. So broad match in the past was just a way of getting people as much traffic as possible. But like every single other thing that we're doing at Google right now, we are applying artificial intelligence to our keywords. So if you are using broad match now, we are applying those same audience signals for you. So because we know that if somebody comes to Google, we know about the websites they visited, the videos they've watched, etc. We know if they're in market. If they type something in that doesn't necessarily match your keyword exactly, but based on your website, the page you're advertising, the landing page, if it's a match to what the person's looking for, we will then try to show your ad. So we're able to get a lot smarter about who to match that keyword to with broad match. So we are actually encouraging everybody to try that because there's a lot of artificial intelligence applied to it and it helps you reach more of the right people. The similar variance is sort of our way of trying to also capture things like misspellings, especially now that everybody's typing on a mobile device and we have fat fingers and it just, there are a lot of misspellings that we see out there. And so we figure that even with like phrase and exact, maybe you don't want to capture other terms, but you might want to capture people who just are spelling in a quick hurry.
I will say this, correct, though sometimes it's not correct and actually puts the wrong word. Thanks for answering that one. So our next question we had in was, what is the best way to run a map-based campaign now that local campaigns are gone?
So one of the things that I was actually just reading about today, because I was reading up on Waze and the newer iteration of, because Waze also runs maps type ads. There is a campaign type now that you can optimize for in PMax, where it is like store sales, and that's more of a geo type of business outcome that we are trying to manage. So we will show your ads. If you're managing that, we will try to show your ads more across Google Maps as well. So in PMax, you will run on Google Maps as well. You can't, there are limitations in PMax with how much you can control which platform you show on, but we want you to sort of get away from thinking about platforms and start caring just about the person that we're showing the ad to. Because again, you don't really care if somebody's on Maps, YouTube, or Gmail. You just care, are they going to probably buy a car? Are they going to come visit your website and then fill out a lead form or chat in or take one of those actions you care about? So it's about getting away from this thought of platform and getting to the right audience.
And that kind of segues into this next question, which is, are you still able to have standalone vehicle ads? I know that's a burning question right now.
Yes and no. I'm going to give you the hack that allows you to do so. So vehicle ads will be in PMax, but if you wanted to run them separately and not have them show anywhere else and not also have them in the same budget as perhaps ads that are running besides that, you can upload your feed into a PMax campaign and then don't add any other assets, meaning don't add images or videos or text, okay? And then there's a box that you have to check to say automatically create assets. Don't check that, because if you don't allow us to, we will not automatically create assets, and that means all you will have is the vehicle feed in there, and that's the only place it can show. So that's the hack. You heard it from me.
The hack.
Yes, this is recorded.
And CF Search Marketing has been using that hack. So if you need help out there doing that, we can help you with that. Are there any other questions?
I would say, though, I know a lot of people are very nervous about this, and that is what they're doing. But the point really isn't to try to make things difficult for you. The point is to try to get that inventory feed in front of people, the right person, wherever they are. You are limiting yourself if you separate that out.
If you separate it. Do you anticipate have any other complications with government regulations and AI?
That is a question that I probably cannot answer at all. It's probably well above my pay grade.
There's a legal team.
I can tell you that we are constantly on top of changing regulations everywhere, because it's not just US either, right? I mean, we have to pay attention to changing regulations all over the world, and they're different in every country. We get a lot of updates all the time about how we are paying attention to these, how we are changing our processes because of these. I'm sure that we haven't heard the end of regulations around AI. It's something that is so new to all of us. We're at the very cusp, and it is something that has to be treated carefully. And so I'm sure there will be more things coming.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions? All right. If we don't have any other questions, I'm going to go into the fun part. Which is our $25 gift card for engaging in the chat today. So Eryka, who's our big winner?
Alrighty, it's spinning. Alrighty, so our winner today is Mark Weiss. Thank you so much, you guys, with your participation. Mark, we will send you over your gift card. Yay, congratulations. Yes.
Congratulations, Mark. Good questions today. And Angie, I just want to thank you so much for hosting this webinar with us. Thank you, Google, for participating in this and everything that you guys do to support us every day for our dealers out there. So thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, for joining today. Keep on the lookout for our next webinar. And if you need to reach us, you can email us at sales@CF Search Marketing, and we can get a free audit or show you a demo of our services. So thank you, everybody. Hope
Thanks,
you guys have a great day.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Angie.